Hi everyone,
Welcome to our channel. I'm Alexi.
and I'm Enrique.
Today we'll be discussing how we almost got divorced. Uh, it probably makes the most sense to go all the way back before we even got married.
We started dating really young at 15 years old. We got engaged at 19, and then we got married at 20.
It was absolutely wonderful at first. We, I think, really just clicked. We had a lot of things in common. Actually, we met in karate. So
hmm
um because I remember I just needed to do some like out of school elective to satisfy some like PE credits or something, and I was looking through this like pamphlet for this college that we both live near that he ended up going to actually for undergrad, and I just chose it, and then we met, and I think within a year we were together. um we were in love. We fell in love so young, and it honestly just felt like it was us against the world. And then after we got married, we moved in together, and we were living on our own for the first time, because I'd been dorming, but obviously, you living, in an apartment with your husband in the city, like it just, it felt really heady. Um and it was just this incredible feeling knowing that you always had someone in your corner no matter what. So, we were pursuing our respective educations, and, we were working to make ourselves and our families proud, as we're both first generation, meaning that we're the first people in our family to, graduate from college. And so knowing that we were on the cusp of all of these amazing accomplishments, I think we were both brimming over with confidence and happiness, and that obviously really had this positive effect on our relationship as well. Um, and then on the heels of all of that success and excitement and confidence and the excitement of grad school, things just really felt perfect for the first year at least.
Yeah, and sometime after our first anniversary, things started getting a little weird between us. I didn't really notice, but looking back, I can see that things were being strained between us. Things you normally wouldn't expect, and certain things you don't really see when you're living in the moment.
Yeah. I started noticing that Enrique was kind of forgetful and impulsive. He'd go to the grocery store and he would buy 50, 60, whatever dollars worth of stuff, none of which was on the list. And he'd come back and would just be like, yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, this chips and soda just seemed more important than the eggs and the milk that I'm supposed to go get. And of course, at first that's like cute and funny. Like all the rom coms tell you that, um, being, that like that forgetful, impulsive thing is, cute. And so I think I bought into that too. And things were fine even then until it kept happening over and over and over. And as it would happen just like more and more, and I'd see, we were wasting money, and obviously we were both students, so it was like not like things were going swimmingly financially. I started getting really frustrated and, even resentful after a while. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and in response, I got more and more sensitive to how Alexi was reacting to my mistakes, and I was very anxious about how Alexi perceived me. I was often sad about how my mistakes were ruining our relationship, and I began looking for ways to repair our relationship. I also tried to keep an optimistic approach to healing the rift, despite my feelings of hopelessness and shame when Alexi would express that she was hurt and affected by my feelings.
So, what ended up being the problem, you ask? ADHD. It's not necessarily spoken about a lot outside of the specific groups and books that I guess affected couples seek out and use as support. But ADHD makes having a fulfilling and equitable relationship incredibly difficult, and sometimes it's, impossible at the end of the day. I mean, you can even think of this statistic when you're thinking about the issue. According to the marriage consultant Melissa Orlov, author of The ADHD Effect on Marriage, the divorce rate is nearly twice as high for people with ADHD, which affects nearly 4% of adults as it is for other couples.
Yeah, on my end, I also had to figure out major aspects of our journey for reconciliation, getting myself diagnosed and treated, and working with Alexi to gain empathy and a full understanding of how my ADHD affected our marriage.
Yeah, on my end, I essentially had to really just work on building empathy for Enrique's plight, so that I would look at an oversight or mistake and not immediately think selfish, lazy, or even regrettably stupid, right off the bat. Because obviously, an attitude like that would be incredibly damaging for both of us. Both for me and my understanding of Enrique and looking at him as this full equal partner in our relationship, and for Enrique, who, growing up with ADHD, after all of the books that I've read, I can see it's probably incredibly difficult because eventually you start building this like social script of yourself as being, ineffective or inefficient or, even actually like, stupid because you don't understand why you keep making the mistakes that you're making. You don't understand why your attention keeps like wavering, even with things that you're actually interested in. And I can imagine how confusing and emotionally affecting that would have to be for a child, and then to go through that for decades before actually being treated for it if you're not someone who is treated in childhood for ADHD. I can really only imagine how difficult that would be. So really having to sit down and think about how it must have felt for Enrique making those mistakes as someone who is at his core responsible and giving and loving, and constantly being seen as the opposite of those things. That obviously took a lot for me, but I had to realize how much it takes for him just getting through every day. And when I was able to look at it that way, I think that really helped both of us get to a place where we were able to look at each other and truly empathize with what the other person was going through.
It took therapy on both our parts and about another year, but we got through that rough patch. It's been a wild ride, and we haven't even spoken about half of it, but we're grateful to be here today, still sticking through it together.
Well said. So with that, we're done for today. Stay tuned for more about our journey through being young spouses, being young parents, and basically just seeing where the journey that we've set out on together takes us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.